Hello, I'm Alexis.
And I'm Faith. And this is NCCU Public History TV.
Today we want to discuss, drum roll,
Urban Renewal.
Is that like renewing your license?
Girl, no. I really don't know what it means, but I'm guessing it's like another form of gentrification. Like, I don't know. What do you...
Well, I did read this book by Chris Couch called Urban Renewal Theory and Practice, and he simply defines it as the refurbishment, conversion, and replacement of urban areas. He later defines it as the physical change in the intensity of buildings and neighborhoods for the social and economic forces.
Wow, and you know, I picked up this great read the other day at Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble is such a great place, but picked up The Root Shot, guys.
Good read.
It's by Mindy Foley Love. She's a great author. So this book is basically just highlighting the effects of urban renewal in African American communities across the United States. She gives no concrete definition of exactly what the term urban renewal is, but she does say it's generically used for the improvements. But honestly, what improvements in these cities is urban renewal really helping? Like, is it improving the look of the community? Like, honestly, it's not improving the lifestyle of so many.
You know, the Housing Act of 1949 introduced the concept of urban renewal on a national level. So it was aimed at clearing lands to increase the housing stock. It also emphasized new construction and rebuilding neighborhood facilities. So the federal government basically aided in clearing out what they considered the slums or the blighted areas, which were the less developed areas in any given community. So today we know this as the hood, or, you know, the east side, west side, south side, the ghetto.
But anyways, the Housing Act of 1954, which was basically just an extension of the Act of 1949, and research by Robert Fairbanks said basically that it was just shift on the calling it a slums and its inhabitants to basically having more of an emphasis on downtown and allowing the city to be better compete with the suburbs, and basically just trying to, you know, take it from being the slums to showing it more of an economical shift and, you know, making it more attractive.
You know, Fairbanks also said that this act was considered to be a war on the slums. So the culmination of all the acts within this act targeted the slums, in that they cleared most of them out.
Wow, that's crazy that they could displace so many people and not, you know, have some type of plan for replacement. Did they have one?
Well, I'm not quite sure about that, but I do have a pressing question. We live in Durham, North Carolina. Do you think urban renewal could happen here?
Honestly, someone just told me the other day about the Hayti community and how it was destroyed with the creation of the Durham Freeway, girl. Was like in the late 1960s, and honestly, it's right down the street on Fayetteville Street. Do you want to go take a visit?
Let's go take a look.
Oh my gosh, we finally made it.
That was a long
The
walk.
Hayti community.
What community? Do you hear that? The hustle and bustle of the highway?
Wow, it's really crazy that this used to actually be a community where housing was, like, African Americans were really at home in this place, and now it's like a Pelicans. The only improvement that I've seen is possibly an improvement in taste buds. Like, I love me a Pelican large snow cone. But anyways, they used to have their own mechanic shops, they had their own gas stations,
beauty parlors, everything that the black community needed was here right in Hayti.
And guess what? They displaced so many people.
With urban renewal, over 4,000 people were displaced, along with 250 businesses, black businesses.
That's really crazy. I think it even said that it took like $300 million in today's dollar to rebuild and, you know, add renewal to this place.
Look at this photo of what it used to be like.
Oh my gosh, look at all these communities. Just to imagine that there were so many communities and now it's a freeway.
Between 1949 and 1973, the U.S. government displaced over 2,500 people and businesses and over 300 million people. That's a lot of people.
That's really crazy.
In the United States that were displaced because of urban renewal. But let's get back. Wait, the Hayti Heritage Center.
Oh wow, at least
the
that's still over there.
Heritage Center. It was once
Honestly, like, from all the research we've done, is urban renewal really that bad? Well, honestly, would it really be that bad if it didn't displace so many people? I mean,
Urban renewal has its pros and cons, but the biggest problem is the displacement of the people. And half of the time, they don't even build affordable housing. So once they destroy what they can afford, they build these high-priced areas where they can no longer afford to live. I say, and it jeopardizes mainly African American communities, businesses, and places of work. And their main purpose is to maximize the profitability of the space and make it more attractive, but in the end it's hurting the citizens.
Right, and not only is it, displacing these people, it's also, now that I think about it, just destroying the history of that community. Like, once they tear it down and they don't rebuild anything in its place, like, historical markers, those are cool and all, but at the same time, like, where's the rich sense of community that was once there at one point?
So, what are some alternatives to urban renewal? Do we even have any?
Well, there are some, alternatives, but there are not any that actually still preserve the history and, still don't affect these displacements. So we're going to challenge you guys to actually go out there and figure out what could be some alternatives to urban renewal.
So I'm Alexis.
And I'm Ed.
And we would like to remind you that urban renewal is the process of the demolition of urban or blighted areas that are considered slums for the more economic and social profitability of the government.
And it also just targets these African American communities and displaces them from their homes and their sense of community, and also takes away history from those rich groups.
This is Food for Thought, and we'd like to see you next time on
NCCU Public History TV.